There we go.
Love the toss.
Well, still let the song roll to this part.
Feel the thunder and the roar, got my ass in the jackpot.
Hell yeah. Welcome to the show, everybody.
John Reedy's on the
We're
mic
back.
and the captain's collar is high.
Captain's collar is
The
cocked.
Broncos booze up.
There he is.
Ass in the jackpot.
Got my ass in the jackpot once again. I'm trying to get that intro down a little better because, like I said, it's too long. I like the when the lyrics kick in, but it's too long to get to that point. So
Yeah, the drum solo in the beginning's long, but it's hype.
You know what? I'm going to work on that. I might be able to edit that down a little bit if I can figure that out. So, but we'll do that. So, welcome to the show, everyone. Happy Defeat the Chiefs Day, right?
Beat the Queefs.
So, obviously, an amazing game. We're going to talk about it. I just need to issue my apology to Broncos country and apologize for betting against the Broncos and saying it was going to be a bad scene. And I bet the Chiefs to beat them by the 3.5 points. I did bet the under, which would have hit, but that is not what happened. And the Broncos definitely showed their worth and proved their mettle, as it were, in beating the Chiefs. And I must apologize to all of them and for not believing in them. And honestly, I didn't think it was going to happen. But we'll get into that. But Captain, how you doing? How you feeling after this great Broncos victory?
It is elation time, John. Elation. As I told you before the show, I almost bought a bottle of champagne before tonight's show to pop a cork, just to pop it off, because I do feel Colin needs to get his urethra warmed up for those 3 ounces of fun.
So that's the bet. If the Broncos win the Super Bowl, he drinks his pee.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. And otherwise, you've got to drink your pee.
That's correct, but that won't happen.
All right,
Do
it won't happen.
feel the energy, John?
Well, listen. After that game, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it now. I was not feeling it before because if you looked at the games leading up to that, they were kind of a shit show. Like, barely beat the Raiders, right?
Yes.
And I was just like, look, I know how these things go. And well, you know how these things go, and you also know how they end up going. And it just did not look like they were going to handle this at all. Chiefs are coming off a bye. They obviously have been trying to get it going. They're still the Chiefs, and Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. And I just really thought that while it wasn't going to be a blowout, I thought that the Chiefs were going to handle them pretty good, and that did not happen, did it?
No. And I think, to your point, I think the thing that's rough for all of us is that there's only been, I think, in my opinion, one-handed win, and that was over the Cowgirls, right? Everything else has been relatively close by field goals.
They whipped the Bengals' ass.
That's right. But do you count the Bungles?
Yeah.
Does anybody count the Bungles?
Yeah, you have to, but it's still an NFL team.
It's true. Speaking of which, I do love it. I'm sorry to interject here, but I saw Shadur Sanders is taking reps for the Browns this week.
That's right. He's the starter.
Yeah. Speaking of shit shows,
Well,
I just think this team has been unpredictable, and like we talked about last week, it's reminiscent of the 2015 team where these wins are not going to come with 30-point leads. They're going to be tight, and a win is a win at the end.
absolutely. But no Broncos. I will not get on my knees because if you've been a Bronco fan for any length of time, you understand how these things work. This is why it's really funny to watch Chiefs fans spiral out of control, because we've all been there many, many times where it's just like, oh, this sucks. This is over, and have been let down, multiple times. And it's funny that that's why I had the idea that I said, oh, this is going to go this way because this is how it usually goes. Well, it didn't, obviously, but Chiefs fans are spiraling out of control, and they're having such a hard time dealing with it because they've never been there before, and they're not acting like they've been there before. You should, when you say, hey, act like you've been there before, you go, well, you've never been there before. I go, you still act like it. You still act like you've been there before, right?
Yep.
And Broncos fans have been there before. We've reached the mountaintop several times, and we've had great teams throughout the team's history. And so it's great to win and everything, but we also know pain. And I think it's very funny that they haven't experienced this yet, but they're experiencing it now.
I think it's probably too, you got a bunch of bandwagon people on the Chiefs fan base there. I mean, remember the Chiefs were not all that great in the 80s and 90s. We were trouncing up on them. I mean, it was a good rivalry, don't get me wrong, but even during the Marty Schottenheimer days back in the day when they were a tough crew, they had some rough seasons. And now it just seems like Chiefs fans don't know when to shut up.
No, they don't. And it's fun. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, they had some good teams. They had some runs, but they never – I could be mistaken, but I don't know if they ever made – they've had to have made an AFC like – they never made this – well, they were in the – okay, sorry. Let me back up. They always go, well, we won Super Bowl fucking 2 or whatever it is. Like, dude, look, if Lyndon Johnson was president, it doesn't count, okay? It doesn't count. They're wearing leather helmets, and they didn't allow black people, and it was like that doesn't count. If you didn't win one from like the 80s on, we're not counting it, So we could take a couple of those Steelers and Cowboys ones off their tally because it just wasn't the same. Not the same as it was now. So they claim, we had this Super Bowl before. I don't think they did, and I'd have to look it up, but I don't remember them like surpassing the Broncos. Like I think they did better than the Broncos for a couple of years, but they never went farther than that, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember any Super Bowl appearances by them.
No, not during my lifetime.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, you've got a generational Hall of Fame quarterback. You had a great run. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Obviously, you had a great time because you felt very superior about yourselves. But it's over now, so it's done, and you're going to have to go back. You're going to have to go back to sucking. Even with, and this is the point I made the other day. We've always had. Every time like Elway retired, it was like, oh, misery. It sucked. There was no, it wasn't good. Shouldn't say that. There was like Jake Plummer. There was a couple high points, right?
There were playoff appearances.
Yeah, absolutely. And they got very close that one year with Plummer. Like they probably should have beat the Steelers, I think it was. And they but it fell off after that, right? And it was bad until Manning showed up. Manning shows up, it's great, and then he retires, and it's bad again. So we always had these moments where that the Broncos were on top, and it was punctuated by a retirement, and we all went, okay, this is gonna be tough. But we enjoyed the high, we embraced the low, and Chiefs fans just don't. They're hitting the low, and it's the first time for them. So welcome to the low, Chiefs fans. It's about time you got back to it.
Yeah, welcome to your new era of sucking, like you said.
Absolutely. So the other than my apology, I apologize, Broncos, Denver Broncos, for not believing in you, but now I believe for sure.
Would you say you believe?
I did. I just said I believe.
Oh, I thought that was a believe.
No, I said it. I just didn't quite pronounce the O as much as I should have. Yeah, so what was it? It was 19-22. Denver covered their 3.5, and if only I had bet the Broncos to cover, I would have won. I would have won all that money, but that was my fault. So, it was very satisfying to get that win, and everyone's like, "Oh, the Broncos suck." I said this. They suck. They barely won these games, but it was like, "Hey, look, they beat who they were supposed to beat on Sunday." That was a test. They passed that test.
Well, they beat the Eagles too. So they beat the Super Bowl, champions and the appearance of the Chiefs in this season. And I think you could just go forward. And like I said, this is a Super Bowl championship team. People gotta believe. I'm so pumped. So pumped, John.
Well, good. I'm glad you're pumped. The defense absolutely stymied them, other than Kelsey breaking free for that touchdown. I think they pretty much bottled him up. And Kelsey's touchdown, someone kind of missed the tackle and kind of bounced off of him. and he's a big dude. So if you don't hit him square, he's going to run right through you. And that's what happened. Then all of a sudden it was like straight to the end zone. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, it looked pretty good, man. And I just thought, oh, he's going to pick him apart, and then he's going to go deep, just how he always does. But they held him, man. They sacked him a bunch of times. He was so pissed, and I was like, oh, it's so great to see him upset. And then you look at the sideline, and they're all kind of almost like crying. You know what I mean?
Travis Kelce's face on the sideline, just that sad, like, I'm dating the world's most valuable musician right now, and I'm still sad because you got fucking trounced. I mean, he even broke the Chiefs franchise record for career touchdowns, and he said, I could care less because we're 5-5.
That's right.
And that makes me feel like the Denver Broncos team that I love is back. When you're disappointing people who are used to going to Super Bowls, it makes me happy.
Well, Trav can retire anytime he wants.
Yes, he can.
I would welcome him retiring anytime, because if they get him off there, then obviously he started out a little slow, and he had a down year last year, but he's really one of the only things keeping him in it. If Pat is their leading rusher, well, he wasn't on Sunday, but if Pat's like their leading rusher and Kelsey's their their leading receiver, it's not good times for them, and it's fantastic. So our friend Broncos asks, aren't they married now? No, they are not. They're not married. They're planning the wedding, and they will. That's why I think Travis should retire. And if someone hits him hard enough, he will, because he's going to be like, you know what? I got to go plan what the meal is at the wedding, whether it's going to be chicken or beef or chicken and fish. And he's going to need to do that soon. So,
will they even have protein at that dinner, John, considering all the starlights that'll be there? I mean, I figure there's going to be a lot of tofu, a lot of vegetables.
Well, you got to understand, Travis and his crew, I mean, I think those guys are all going to be meat eaters. I don't know.
Not when Taylor's your girlfriend. You listen to the woman.
Well, Taylor comes from the country world, right? That's where she made her bones. You can't become a country star singing about tofu. Okay. So I'm pretty sure she's probably stuck to that. I don't know what her diet is. I would have to ask an expert. Maybe we'll get somebody on.
She's very wafy, John. I don't see a lot of T-bone steaks in that diet.
I think it's genetics. I think she can knock back a porterhouse and then just go on about her business.
A big glass of Lagavulin to wash it down.
That's right. So we're going to look into that, whether she is or not. I don't think she is, because I think we would have heard about that. So.
Good follow-up segment. That's a new segment for next week.
That's
Taylor's
right. We'll
diet.
You know what? There's a couple Swifties that I know that are diehards. I know you claim to be one, but I think you would know that.
Yeah,
Colin.
We could bring Colin back. He's a big Swiftie.
He might know, because his wife's a vegetarian, and I think that would be something he knows. So.
Agreed.
Did you know I'm almost a vegetarian? Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yep, I'm a not full on. I'm still eating some chicken, and if green chili has pork in it, I will not say no to it. So but I haven't probably had red meat in good 9 months for sure.
Damn, good for you, John. I couldn't do it. I mean, I will not burn a steak every night, but I'll have a good steak once a month.
Well, wait till you start getting gout from drinking beer all the time, and then you're gonna make some decisions, and
that's why we have vodka.
That's right.
The Broncos tumbler tonight.
That's why I'm drinking Calvados. Do you know what Calvados is?
Sounds vaguely familiar. It's tequila, isn't it?
No, it's an apple brandy of some sort.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like Spanish, and it's very good. It's delicious.
Hey, well, good timing for good tasting.
Absolutely. Talking about the defense played very well, obviously. But I think early on, one of the first shows, you said something about, you were asking about Riley Moss, and I was like, hey, look, you got to leave the guy alone. Nobody's throwing at Surtain, so they got to throw at him. He's got a lot on his plate. He's got to figure that out. Okay. So the second pass interference, Mahomes just hucks it up. It goes fucking straight up in the air. and the camera pans over, and Riley Moss just basically like tackles the guy from behind. And I'm like,
bad.
I'm like, you got it. I've never played cornerback. I don't know all the ins and outs, but I think when there's a ball in the air like that, you have to have better positioning.
Yes.
He has no idea what he's doing. Like, you shouldn't have clobbered that guy. I get it when it's real tight coverage and like, a lot of people running around, but they were all by themselves back by a sideline. And all you see is him go, oh, like, and I'm like, oh my God, you're going to hand him this fucking game.
It was like what, 40 or 50 yards. It was terrible.
He had like 90 some yards of penalties just himself on that drive, or like in the last 2 drives. So he needs to figure that out. That is not something that's going to burn them again. That is going to come back to haunt them. It almost did on Sunday. If that had, I think that was, I don't remember that couldn't have been when Kelsey scored. I think that was before that. Anyway, I don't remember exactly. Still, it's going to come back to haunt them. He has to figure that out. Vance Joseph, your Vancey pants. He has to sit him down and go, look, dude, if you're out there like that, there's no reason for you to be tackling that guy. You should be tracking that ball and fucking be right with him without having to do that. Right. Like what I gave him a pass, but after that I was like, nope, this is not happening. This is not good.
No, again, the penalties were still problematic. I mean, shit. Sean Payton even got a penalty for being on the sideline and got trounced.
What a douchebag. Then he got pissed.
Yeah, you're like, what are you mad about? You were literally in his way.
Yeah, you were in his way. He's going to run you over, and then he's going to give you a penalty for it, you fucking dummy.
Yeah, I think between him and Riley Moss, I mean, those 2 penalties, I believe, happened like close together to one another. And like, I forgot who it was. Romo's like, well, there's 150 yards right there. And you're like, God damn it. Stop it with the penalties. But on your Riley Moss point, the one thing I was thinking about him, as I saw an article on Garrett Bowles today, right? Mm-hmm. Like, Garrett Bowles, he's the best. And I'm like, nobody fucking remembers how many penalties that guy had for holding for the first 5 to 6 years of his career. Is Riley Moss that player? Like, is he going to get better with age? And is he going to be like the next Pat Surtain once he's get a few reps in? I don't know, but I just thought it was interesting.
I would think so. I don't know enough. I don't know enough about him. I've never seen him, until he's become a Bronco. I don't know where it came from. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what his game is. We really should. I mentioned before we should have Mario Vitanzi on here one of these times. We should.
I'd love to. He's great.
We should have him come in because he would be able to answer that because he knows these guys personally and like can tell you, yes, he's going to improve because he was always a big defender of Garrett Bowles. He always said, people hated Garrett Bowles. And that's the revisionist history there because everyone's like, oh, he's playing so good. It's like people were trying to run him out of town. I
was one of them.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. He was bad, but he figured it out. And he'll still get an odd one here and there, but that's fine. But way less than he used to get. So I do think they figured it out if they want to keep playing. But somebody's got to get in his ear and go, okay. And I guarantee you they do it. They look over the film and they go, what were you doing here, dude? There's no reason for you to do this. It's almost like he wasn't paying attention and he ran into the back of him. Maybe he was looking at the ball. I have no idea. I'd have to see it again. But I think he'll figure it out. I hope he figures it out. I don't know when Surtain's back. But
next week.
Next week?
He'll be back for the Commanders game.
After the bye. He'll be here.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And to your point, like that was the thing that was fascinating to me. The defense showed up and they didn't have Pat Surtain. And who else was out? There was another key player that was out.
Did fucking Dre Greenlaw come back yet? Did he ever come?
Yeah. Greenlaw came back, but I think it was a middle linebacker who was out too. Anyways, it doesn't matter. They're missing 2 of their first stringers, one of the best cornerback in the league, and they still shut down the Chiefs. And like we talked about at the beginning of the season, I think the thing that impressed me about the team in the preseason was the fact that the depth was so good. Sure. And I think that showed, against the Chiefs game. And I think what should concern the league is like, if you've got a team whose second and third stringers can show up in big games like this, injuries are going to be problematic, but they're not going to be detrimental, just like they were to the Chargers, who just got fucking laid out by the Jaguars. I mean, thank God.
That's embarrassing. They got late. They got beaten that playoff game a couple of years ago by the Jaguars too, which was hilarious. When we were in Vegas that one time. I can't think of his name. He got testicular cancer and he was out because of that.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. He was.
I can't
out.
either. I can see his face though.
Anyway, they still, to your point, they played great without Surtain and other key members. And only when he comes back, and that's why. And we're going to talk about the game after the bye, just to close it out later. But I love the late season bye. It's so good. Like when someone has a bye in week 4, I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, you have to spread these out a little bit more. You got to at least get them to like week 8 or something, because why are you having buys that early? Now, maybe people are hurt. Maybe they could use the break then. But I think in week 12, that's the way to do it, because then you've played a little while. You're in a groove. Maybe you've got a couple, bumps and bruises you want to get healed. I think that's a good one. The weird one is the
21st to the 25th. You got 4 days off.
Well, I was going to say the Patriots have one in week 14. What the hell? That's way too late. That's way too late to have a bye. So I don't really get that. But
I know you're not a big fan of Sean Payton, but I will say he was masterful in laying this out. Like, he was, when you start thinking about, they had a mini bye this week after a long trip. I mean, he had some influence there, and I think it's paying off. And I agree with you. It's like, okay, great. We had a nice long rest. We had the Chiefs. Now we get a bye week. And you got some kind of weak teams coming up towards the end of the season. But again, I think, you got the Jaguars and Broncos on the 21st, and then 4 days later is on Christmas. You got to play the Queefs.
Yeah, play the Queefs again in KC. So
hopefully
it won't matter at that point. Maybe it'll be like last year's Broncos Chiefs game, where the Chiefs laid down and the Broncos can say, "Hey, we don't need to do this. We're good." That would be fantastic. You're praising and blowing smoke up Sean Payton's ass, but I just want to say, I want to talk about how great fucking Bo looked. Now, everybody,
wait. What are you? First, you said you Bo leave, and now you're going to give good old Bo some props?
Oh, of course. I've been giving Bo props this whole time. If you go back and listen to what we've done, I have always said, I think he's good. I don't think Sean Payton's given him everything he needs. And even when he was looking bad, I was like, well, he looked bad because he had fucking Max Crosby up his ass the whole game. I've always said he looks good. I think he's good. He hasn't always looked good. And in this game, he fucking looked good. He was throwing really well. He almost, not that he looked like Mahomes, but he had the same thing. All of a sudden, you'd see him throw, and you'd see a guy like standing like wide open. And I was like, that's usually the throws Pat gets. And I was like, this is great. So he made the throws. He looked good. He should run more, which I've always been a proponent of. But I think he looked really good. And I was very impressed with how he looked.
Just 24 of 37 for 295 yards, and then he led the game-winning drive, converting. And here's the big thing for me: he converted third downs.
Yep.
Right. And I think the thing that impressed me to what you just said is there were plays he was making on third down that weren't happening earlier in the season, right? And it was just unconverted third downs, which would get us in big pinches, and that just didn't happen in this game, even though the game was close.
Bo's good. The haters be damned. And
speaking of which, can I just say this? I don't know if you saw it in the notes, but
I did.
Yeah, Adam Troutman. I mean, can we talk about the brilliance of his statement? If I could just read it quote for quote.
Please do.
If you're talking shit about Bo online, you're a coward. Absolute coward. He blanks it out. We don't care what other people think. We know what we have in the building, and we know what he's made of. And we really don't care what people have to say. So, Dragon Slayer 69 with his 7-Eleven Slurpee in his mom's basement, I don't give a shit what he has to say, right? And Bo doesn't either. That's Dragon Slayer 69. Somebody has to have made that jersey already. And 7-Eleven clapped back. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they tweeted back. They're like, hey, Dragon Slayer 69, we appreciate your business or some shit like that. And it's just like so awesome.
That's a great jersey idea. I didn't even think about that. Dragon Slayer with the 69. I think that's awesome. Those guys, and he's right. There's a lot of people who were anti-Bo. And again, I have old friends of mine that I text with on game day. Oh, Bo's no good, this and that. I'm like, all right, you don't know what you're talking about. But a lot of people are like that. I don't think they think he's very good. People that aren't fans, I see all the time. Like, I don't know why everyone thought this guy was good. And I'm like, you're not seeing what I see, because I see in some of those games, I saw a fairly new quarterback getting flummoxed by some of the defenses, but when he's on, he looks really good. And if he can tie that together, obviously that's what you want. But there's always going to be these assholes online that are going to be saying things like that, right? Yeah, it's just the thing. If I was famous, I just wouldn't be online. There's no way I wouldn't be online, because you would read stuff. People would say things about you that you'd just be like, it would bum you out till the end of time. Yeah. That's why like Elon Musk freaks out so much, because he just, people say the cruelest things to him, and because he can't not be online, so he has to be online. He's going to read it, and most of it's true, but you still don't want to read that, right? So
well, but he claps back in the most horrendous way, right?
Oh, Elon?
Yeah, I mean, he's terrible.
Oh, he's terrible.
No, he's terrible. But
dude,
my point is, he engages with it, right?
There's some things money cannot buy, and a sense of humor is one of them. And
you're like, hey, the best thing for you is to not have a social media account.
Yes.
I'm glad you started PayPal. I'm glad you got Tesla. I'm glad you're doing SpaceX and reusable rockets. Like, there's definitely some cool stuff your businesses are doing. But the rest of it, just shut the fuck up.
Just go away. I don't want to have to see your opinion on everything.
No.
And it's a terrible opinion. And I just thought, like, God, if I could like bless him with a sense of humor, the dude would pay me billions of dollars. I'm like, oh my God, how do I do this? How do I figure out how to bless him with a sense of humor?
You should be his writer for his social media.
I bet he has some. I bet he has some now, or that he bounces stuff off of, but they're still really bad. Because they're all nerd tech Nazis. So that's all he's dealing with. So anyway, I digress. I could talk about how much I hate Elon for another 2 hours. But you shouldn't, if you're famous, go online. Bo Nix should not go online, because he's going to see things. Even after that game, he's still going to see a ton of shit that is just going to bum you out. That's his choice. I don't know if he does. I don't know if he doesn't. But these guys always say, we don't care what you have to say. And I don't think they do, but they see it. And I think it affects them, and they get pissed. And that's why he reacted that way. Right.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. I think I set out a skeet, or whatever you call a blue sky thing. How would you
tweet? Just call it a tweet.
Tweet.
Yeah.
How would you like it if every time you went into your job, you have, how many millions of people watching you and then commenting on like, your punctuation in your email sucks, asshole. It's just, I feel for those guys. You're just trying to do your job, and people love you when you're great, and they hate you when you're not. And everybody's
absolutely.
got an off day.
Well, I just like to think that when you post things, yes, you have to understand that anybody can see it, but I like to think that we're posting in a bubble where we're all talking to each other. And my philosophy with all these things is like, I can be super upset and go, oh my God, Riley Moss fucking sucks, and what's wrong with him, this and that. I don't know Riley Moss. I'm sure he's a decent guy, whatever. I don't want him to see that, because my opinion should be totally like divorced from affecting him. Right. And it has no effect, other than if you say Riley Moss sucks ass enough, maybe maybe it will affect his performance. But I guess I like to think that as a fan, we're just all reacting to each other, and those guys are over there and they don't see it. And that's really how it should be. I don't think they should have to endure that. I just think they should do their job, and we can complain about it all we want. But it was when we were talking about like booing the other time.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it. If you want to go do it, that's fine. But it's like, hey, these guys are playing for your enjoyment. This is your team. It sucks, but it's almost like, hey, if we're partners in that kind of, if like the fan player relationship is kind of like partners, you have to cut them some slack. You have to be like understanding and go, hey, you know what? This shit happens. We can be upset with it, but we're not going to start sending you death threats.
Yeah, no, there's a big difference between being passionate about your team and being critical of it because you care about it, right? It's kind of like if you get in an argument with your spouse or your kids or whatever, you're upset because you love them and you want them to be great. And I think when you look at some of that, I'm fine with being passionate, but to your point about booing and some of the other shenanigans that happen online, it's like, stop it. Just stop it. It's unnecessary.
It's unsavory.
Yes,
look,
good word.
Bonko Broncos says, I've never had an off day. Always dialed in. Sure, buddy. Yeah, sure. we're going to.
Just like these shows, John, always dialed in.
Exactly. Yeah, always dialed in. Yeah, you never want that. Most of my daily failures, go unnoticed, and I prefer them that way till I can clean them up, not in front of millions of people and 85,000 people getting bummed out at me. So.
Yeah, nobody's losing money on my day-to-day.
Exactly.
Activities.
Well, maybe, I don't know. It depends.
Depends.
But no, it's like that thing where Bo Nix wants to be good. He's not out there throwing an interception, going, well, I don't really give a shit. No, he cares. He doesn't want that to happen. He would prefer that he was throwing touchdowns on interceptions. These guys want to succeed, and it doesn't really help. If people looked at them more of like I said, like a team, like a symbiotic relationship, and it's like, hey, we want to support them, we want to fucking get them there. Being negative never helps, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I can complain. My go-to for the Avalanche is Sam Girard, and you probably don't know who that is. He's an undersized defenseman. He's like the third, fourth defenseman in the chain of command there. Okay. And he's small. He gets pushed around. The playoffs, he was a fucking disaster. And I just waiting for them to trade him. Well, they didn't trade him. He's still playing. And that's my whipping boy. And I just think like all the time, like, oh my God, I'm watching. I'm like, oh my God, he's just like got his back turned. He doesn't know where the fucking puck is. Blah, blah, blah. I don't hate the guy, okay? Yeah. I want him to do well, but at this point, I'm just kind of like, all right, I just want him to get traded because, but I will admit that I have that kind of negative attitude towards that one player. But I try never to make it personal. I try to make it so I'm like, he's not doing what he's supposed to do. He's too small. He can't handle that guy. And I'm sure it comes off as personal, but it's not meant to be personal.
No, but you play hockey, right? I mean, you're a lifelong hockey fan. You play hockey, and so you know what it takes to do the job that needs to be accomplished. And when those things aren't being accomplished, you're frustrated. And again, I think it just goes back to that one word I love to use, which is passion. If you have passion, you're going to get emotional about it. But there's a line that gets crossed, and it's a gray area, right, that gets interpreted by social constructs. But when it crosses a line to the point where like players are having to go, hey, Dragon Slayer 69, stop being a twant. It's just too far, right?
Absolutely. And usually I come back to the fact that I'm like, okay, why is this guy? I don't hate this guy. Well, why hasn't he been traded? Why is he still being put in this position to suck?
Yeah.
You know? So Sam Girard, Riley Moss. If Riley Moss keeps doing this, why have the coaches kept putting him in that position? He's just out there trying to do his best. So again, not his fault. He doesn't want to suck, but he is, and they need to put him in a better position. So my thing is, I don't like the way this guy plays on the Avalanche, but that's because he's been put into a spot that's not designed for him, and the coaches need to do better. That's my thing with it.
Yeah, but hey, real-time update, your Nugs just won.
Did they win? Good.
Yeah, 125 to 118. Good for you guys.
Thank you. I was
Colorado sports on top again.
That's right. And I was going to say, one of my things in my notes was, are we going to have 2026 a triple parade? Is it triple parade time?
John, I'll tell you, if that happens, I will fly out for all three of them. I don't know shit about basketball. I don't know shit about hockey other than what I saw in the Mighty Ducks. But I will fly out for each one in single one of those because Colorado sports is epic for the fan base. And again, the owners, other than the Rockies, who put in the time and effort to put in championship teams.
I agree. Now, you're not going to know if the other ones are going to win. So you're going to get the Broncos first, right? Mm-hmm. Broncos parade first. Tri-parade, yeah, Broncos. That's what I'm saying. We're going to get a tri-parade 2026. Broncos will be first. The Avalanche would be second because that season finishes up right before the NBA does. And then we'd have a Nuggets parade. So the Avalanche and the Nuggets would be very close. Maybe a year or two ago, we were talking, we're going to get a double parade, back-to-back parade.
I was going to say, wasn't that close a few years ago?
That was close. It was as the seasons got started, it was like, they're both favorites, blah, blah, blah. It didn't pan out, obviously. But now we're looking at the tri-parade. And I think it might go down. So
I'm not a huge fan of parades either, John.
I'm not. I haven't been to the parade since the Avalanche won the second cup. And I don't think I went to any of the Broncos ones. I don't think. I know. So, but it's not my bag. I don't want to wait around with all those people, God knows what fucking communicable disease will be spread by then.
Isn't that the funny thing as you get older? You're like, oh God, the public.
Yeah. Yuck. The grotesque public. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm like, if I could get on a couch that was being flown by drones, and I could fly around the parade and just see what I wanted to see, and then take off at my leisure. That's what I want. So
I'll tweet at Elon, see if he can make that happen.
He might, but then no. Here's what he'll do. Somebody else will invent it, and then he'll claim that it's his invention.
It's true.
It's true.
I invented rockets.
But then someone will die using it, and then he won't have anything to do with it. So,
self-driving cars have only been coming for the past decade.
Yeah, they got those fucking Waymos riding around Denver, and I haven't seen one yet. But I listen. Swear to me, please. If I get fucking run over and killed by one of those things, I need you to go fucking complete fucking Braveheart on those things and fucking wage war for me.
Hey, John, I promise you. And I'll tell you, I hit a tipping point today for me. It's like, look, there are things about, I will say, AI that I can appreciate, right? There are things that it does that.
Like our theme song.
Yes, our theme song. Doing some research, right? But I think if I hear the word AI involved in my refrigerator, just the term in general, I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of people trying to inject it for profitability standpoint when it proves to be no purpose for it other than just saying the term. I'm over it. What's the phrase that was going around the internet from Star Wars? Fucking clankers. Yeah, I'm kind of done with it.
Fucking clankers. Broncos, and we appreciate you hanging in there with us.
Thanks, brother.
Said the Nuggets and Avs will go on parade at the same time. No, they will not. Those seasons always end at different times. It won't happen unless, like, the Nuggets absolutely tear through each team in 4 games apiece and wipe it out, and then the Avalanche have to go 7 games apiece. That's the only way it would cross over. I don't think it would. So, no. Listen, autocorrect is essentially an AI, right? It is a supposed intelligent system that is supposed to anticipate what you're typing, right?
Yes.
Well, it's the worst fucking thing ever. That's a clanker. That sucks. That's so bad. Like, I'm just typing things, and I'm like, how does it not know I'm trying to type the word something, and I accidentally put a T where the O is supposed to be? How does it not know that?
I don't know, but I will.
There.
I will tell you. Look at your phone right now. While I was sitting there bashing AI in our stream, a lovely little pop-up in Google Chrome comes up. It's like, hey, try Gemini in Google Chrome.
Great.
I'm like, you son of a bitches are listening.
It knew it. It knew it. But hey, look, if they can get autocorrect to work, because why doesn't autocorrect know like words that I always type? It should already know it, right?
Yeah.
It should know when I'm typing things. I'm gonna type chuds a lot, right? I'm gonna type the word chuds.
Yeah.
It won't know it. If
Not cheddar.
Yeah.
Chud.
It'll say like chops or something. It like doesn't get it. And then I spend so much time backing up and retyping things. Oh, no, I meant that. And then it flips it to something else. That is dumb. If they can't figure that out, they will not figure anything else out. So fuck it all, other than our great theme song.
Our great theme song done by Scott Stafford.
Yes, it was very good. So it's good stuff. So before we get into the game coming up, what else you got? You got any more tidbits? Any more?
I don't have a lot, but I will say I did see a reel over the weekend. I will say I did have to deactivate my Instagram account. I was spending way too much time on the reels.
So our friend Marcelo asked me that. He said, hey, where's Captain Bronco? I don't see his account anymore. And I said, oh, I don't know. I said, fuck, I thought he was there. So
oh no, I was spending way too much time on the Instagram doom scrolling. And I'm like, I got to take a few weeks off of this shit because it's taking away from me doing things that I should be doing in my life. But before I turned it off, I did see probably the greatest reel and I didn't know this, but did you know Aqib Talib has his own podcast now called the No Lie Zone?
I mean, is it like a DNVR thing?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah, I knew about it.
Yeah. So they had a Halloween episode.
Oh yeah.
Did you see this?
What he wrote in?
He wrote in his fucking Debo, and the meta-ness of that, of him yanking chains and Debo from Friday yanking chains. I'm like, you are the fucking best, Aqib. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I love that dude.
He's an interesting cat. I think he's got a few things in his past that.
Oh yeah, no, that guy's gangster.
Yeah,
his whole family's gangster.
But again, it's like your favorite musician. You gotta appreciate their art and their craft. And if you get too deep into it, you might be bummed out. So
yeah, never meet your heroes, right?
What's this? No, DNVR frowny face. Okay. Listen, I know DNVR is a hot button issue.
Why is that?
Well, that's a good question. I
thought they were beloved.
Well, I know people don't like Spano. That's one thing.
He's polarizing, but I haven't followed up with him in quite some time.
They think that people felt they kind of like capitalized on, we're trying to tell you how to be a fan and fan this, fan that. Mm-hmm. And it was the whole t-shirt thing too. Like the old beat writers were like, oh, why don't you make a t-shirt about it? And it was like, hey, look, this is what they were doing. They literally opened that bar, the DNVR bar. They opened it like right as COVID hit, and it was a fucking mess. And I know they were selling t-shirts to probably keep afloat.
Yeah.
Listen, there's all sorts of things. I know all sorts of people that have a beef for various reasons, and maybe they have a legit gripe. I do not. I've known Spano for a long time. He is a character. I will give you that. But I think they've done a good thing, and I think they do really good reporting. That's the whole thing. Do they do good reporting? And they do. They do fantastic reporting. I was just seeing something about how American journalists that cover politics and things, how they're so concerned with access that they're gonna say and do whatever that the people in charge want them to, right?
Yeah.
Well, hey, that's been going on with the Broncos for a long time.
Yeah.
And there was only a few people who could get away with saying fairly negative stuff. And it was like Kliss and not No, I'm sorry, not Kliss. It was Kliss has never said a bad thing about the Broncos in his life because he's always craved access. He's a perfect example of that. He's just like all the White
Company
House
man.
reporters. So I'm thinking of oh my God, why can't I think of his name? I post his picture every time with the Cortland Sutton thing. Oh my God, see I haven't seen him in so long. I haven't seen his name. Kisla, sorry, Kisla. Yeah.
Oh God, Kisla on Twitter back in the day was the worst.
Oh my God, he's so bad. And Kisla, would say whatever the hell he wanted to, and he wasn't scared of them, and he would just go for it. But all these young guys came in, and they all got leaned on. And if they did anything negative that was outside what they, fucking Chad Kelly gets beaten with a vacuum cleaner. They've got
the second time I've heard that reference this week.
Somebody said it the other day, but so. You got to report on that. You go, hey, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. But then if anybody grandstanded at all, they'd come shut them down. And they're very aware of that. And so I think people were like, oh, they're just, just kind of sucking up to these teams, whatever. And it was like they have to, because if they don't, they're not going to get any access. And for a long time, like the Kroenke teams, the Nuggets, the Avalanche, they didn't let any of these lower level people in at all. You had to work for like a newspaper before. And the guys that did the Colorado sports, see, this is the thing about getting old and not doing this for so long. Colorado sports guys, Jeff Morton and those guys, they were the first ones, like bloggers, to get access to a sports team in this town. And they got in, and they were able to go to the practices, go to the press conferences, and they were one of the first ones to do it. Before that, they would never let anybody in like that. So when the Avalanche didn't have anybody for a long time. I don't know if they even do still, but a lot of those Avalanche blogs are like people from out of state. But if you were a low level blog, or even like something like Spano's thing, you got to get your foot in the door, and you can't really cause any trouble. So I just think people think that they were like kind of suck ups or whatever. Somebody could probably tell you. Honestly, I don't know. I know a lot of people dislike them, but I will tell you that every so often, and we did this like 2 Saturdays ago, and we went to watch an Avalanche game there, and it's a blast. It's so much fun because everybody there, the Nuggets were on, and then the Avalanche started. So everybody there is rooting for a Denver team, and it's a fucking blast. It's like being in a sports bar, and everybody has the same bet, right?
Well, that's the thing. Like every video I've ever seen from the DNVR bar is phenomenal. Like I want to go. And so when you hear some of the friction that goes along with it, I'm trying to figure out why. It seems like everybody loves it.
A lot of people do. I mean, there's people that have worked for the company that have friction. There's people that just don't like that scene. Honestly, I don't know. I know people that I like very well, and they fucking can't stand it. And I don't even bother. I'm like, okay, if you don't like it, it's cool.
Yeah, personal opinion.
I go there like once or twice a year. We have a blast. It's great. It is probably about maybe like 10 blocks from the Denver Swim Club. So when we go to the Denver Swim Club, we will come back down, and then we'll hit up the DNVR bar. So
I mean, it sounds like a great time to me.
It's going to be a good time. So DNVR bar isn't bad, much better than the Bank. Now the Bank, I believe that's what it was a long time ago, and my good friend Aaron X used to work there. He was a bartender there at the Bank. I think it was the Bank then. Anyway, it's been a crazy bar, something for a long time. There's still a vault in the basement. So, but yeah, it's a good time, man. And like I said, everyone's rooting for your team. You don't have many you wouldn't have
outsiders.
You wouldn't have many like Chiefs fans showing up in there, last Sunday. So it's good. It's a good time. So
hey, speaking of which, I got one more question for you because you're tapped into the sports scene more so than I am.
Oh, so tapped in.
Yeah, you're so tapped in. Who is this asshole Nick Wright? You know who Nick Wright is? Like this guy's he's starting to show up on all my feeds for whatever reason, and every time he opens his mouth, he just sounds like a fucking asshat. He hates the Broncos. Yep. He predicted KC and the Raiders 1 and 2 in the AFC West. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
he is a total clown. He's the ugliest man in sports. So
Yeah.
very, very ugly. Like I see his face and I go, oh God, look, I'm no prize, but like nobody sees me and just goes, oh God, look at that guy. Like that's what when I see Nick Wright, that's what I see.
What was the character John Travolta played in Pulp Fiction?
Oh, shit, I can't think of it.
He looks like an F version of that with a giant schnoz.
Like he's that character, but he got beat in the face.
That's my point. It's like I think people have punched him in the face multiple times because that's what it looks like to me.
He's Nick Wrong, obviously. But here's the thing: it's not even. He's a big Chiefs fan, okay, for some reason. But he's also like a huge Philadelphia 76ers fan. So it's almost like any team that has like some sort of like conflict with the Denver team, he's all for. And he's always on the wrong side of all of it. So
how does he have a pulpit to talk from? Because he just sounds like he's wrong.
Because it's outrage, Captain. It's just outrage because they go, oh, this guy sucks, and everybody hates him, but they won't stop fucking commenting and they won't stop watching his videos. So bring the money on in, and that's it. That's totally how these guys are. Like at least like Stephen A. Smith, who I'm not a fan of at all, is a very like a smart dude and makes pretty good points when he's being outrageous. But Nick Wright doesn't make good points. He fucking sucks, man.
No, but he has no like. Again, I think you go back to like when you're talking Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp. You have somebody who was around the league, in the league, and they're talking about shit they know. And I'm just trying to go, I don't know who the fuck this guy is. He's never been a professional athlete. And the shit he's spouting off ain't making sense to me, which is perfect English for this show.
He's a big Chiefs fan. He was always supporting Joel Embiid over Jokic, which now we know Nikola Jokic is probably the best player in the world, maybe one of the best of all time. And Joel Embiid, I don't know if he even plays anymore. I don't know if he's playing. I think he's hurt. And but the dude went all in on that. He had to. So it's like a Skip Bayless. So like Skip Bayless is just a fucking awful piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
But he would say outrageous things like, "Oh, LeBron's overrated," and it was like, and then people go, "Fuck you, old man, you old fucking queen," or whatever, they'd say to him, and which is really funny because Skip Bayless has a brother who's a chef. Do you know about his brother?
No.
Yeah, he's a Bayless. I can't think of his name, but he's he makes like really good like Mexican food, but with like his own twist to it.
Of course, like a guy named Bayless is awesome in Mexican food.
He's a very white, effeminate dude, and basically, if you made like Skip Bayless like bigger and gayer, that's what his brother is. And I don't know if his brother's gay, and he makes great food. I went to his restaurant in Chicago; it was fantastic. It was so good. And he seems like a decent guy, but Skip is not. Skip sucks. And so he's always like, he's the guy who's like, LeBron sucks. And I love the Cowboys. And everyone's just like, fuck you. And that's the whole thing. If you're willing to have people sit there and say, fuck you all day, but you're getting a good paycheck, God bless you. I think that's great. But that's all those guys are. That's all Nick Wright is, Skip Bayless, the whole thing. They just have people going, you fucking suck. You're ugly. I've called them ugly how many times now? Like that would fucking kill me if everyone's like, you suck, your opinions suck, and you're ugly as shit.
I'd be injecting myself with filler left and right just because of social media.
Well, you know what? The only thing that would soothe my pain, a fucking 6-figure paycheck. That would soothe my pain, and that's all it is to those guys. If they just keep saying outrageous shit, then the money will keep coming. And that's all it is. That's all the age we live in now. And it really sucks.
Oh, John, you're so right. Because I went down a rat hole because again, it wasn't until this morning I woke up and I saw this thing where he had predicted the AFC West stuff. And I was just like, this is so far off the fucking mark. And then you start going down the rabbit hole of like, what does this guy make a year? And it's like, well, we don't know the exact amount, but this guy makes this amount. And it's like $2 million a year. And I'm like, he's getting $2 million a year for being a prick? Like, what are we doing?
That's the thing. He's incentivized to do that. That's why all these people like online, like someone that they don't know, could be a fucking Russian, could be Chinese, and they're like, hey, fucking start saying, Joe Biden just shit his pants. And they're like, okay, because they got a fucking check in the mail. And it's like, it's so bad because it's so instant and it's so dangerous that this is just in this realm. This is what's happened to sports, is that, so Kisla's been doing that for a long time. That's fine. That's that type of thing. And that's been one of
that
those.
That was unique for the era, though.
Absolutely, because you were like, oh, these guys stir shit up. Woody Page stirs shit up. That's fine. But when it became so accessible and beamed into your skull every fucking 3 seconds, then it became like mental illness. Then it affected us in a negative way.
Right.
And that's why I'm just like, I can't listen to it. So I see his ugly face. I don't even listen to him anymore.
Yeah. Well,
it's very recognizable. So it's not hard to it's not hard to miss him when he's getting ready to talk.
Well, and I will say that's about the only thing I hate about Twitter is that there's shit that comes in my feed sometimes where I'm like, I didn't ask for this guy's a prick.
It just bums you out. So Broncos, Zach Stevens, DNVR, he's got a fan base. I know who Zach Stevens is. I don't know if I've met him before, but yeah, I mean, those guys do a good job. They do great. I know Ryan Koenigsberg pretty well, and dude's always been on top of it, man. He's a big Denver sports fan, and that's what I want. I want people. Obviously, you want somebody to be a bit impartial, to not be like Mike Kliss, who's just like blowing smoke up the fucking peeners' asses all the time. You don't want that. You want somebody that is going to tell you the truth and go, hey, look, Riley Moss got to get his shit together. I do want that, but I also want someone who cares about the team as much as I do. And that's what those guys do. And I appreciate that. So,
yeah, there's and again, maybe most people don't know this about me, but I'm a huge Apple fanboy. I've read Steve Jobs' books. I've watched all the movies. I enjoy the epitome that goes with some of the lore. But there's a guy named John Gruber who covers Apple. And, for a long time, he was very complimentary of Apple. But as of recently, he's been a little bit more critical. And to your point, what was very interesting is that Apple's very secretive. But they would do this show during a developer conference where some of the executives would attend. And he was critical of them over some things that they did. And this was the year, or it was last year, they're like, we're not coming to the show. Like, go fuck yourself. And it was like, nah, see, that's not how this works, right? Like, you got to have somebody who cares about you, but at the same time, when you're misstepping, calls you out on your bullshit.
If they're fair, then what are you afraid of?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that should go for sports reporting, which is like, look, I love the Broncos, but for the past 10 years, they've been terrible. And I just really I wasn't going to say anything. I quit my podcast because of it. I just didn't want to feed into the negativity. But I don't think I would ever get to a point where my fandom for the Broncos would be blindsided by just throwing shilly shit out there.
Well, that's the thing. If they called you up, let's say you live there down by Dove Valley, and they said, hey, why don't you come down to the press conferences, Captain? You can sit in and you can talk to this person, blah blah blah. And then then you'd be like, now I gotta watch what I say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I couldn't do that. And I think we've talked about this before in the past, which is like, hey, thanks for inviting me. But I'm still going to say what I want to say. And if you guys are great, I'll talk about the great shit. But if it's terrible, I'm going to say it's terrible.
Like most of the stuff that's been said on these shows that we've done, we would never be invited down. Just on the Sean Payton stuff alone, I mean, they'd be like, oh no, we can't have that. Like, the Denver Post guys get away with it a little bit because they're like, oh yeah, Sean Payton's, kind of unpleasant and this and that. But I think they got in trouble for that because that guy, I think his name's Patrick Smythe. I think that's his name.
Yeah, their PR guy.
He'll get on you. He'll call. He'll give a call and be like, hey, you can't say this and blah blah blah.
We're friends. We're friends on LinkedIn. I hit him up after Super Bowl 50. He accepted it, which was weird to me. I'm like, you don't know me from a.
Hey, you know what? He's one of the best at what he does. I don't agree with what he does, but you know what? I'd probably do the same thing if I was in that position. But it's just that these people get the opportunity and then they go, well, I can't say anything bad. And it's like, no. If something's bad, you got to talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's why, and we're talking about, we're talking about Mike Kliss here. Mike Kliss is the worst. He's so fucking terrible. And I don't remember him being this bad until he stopped being a writer and he started doing the TV. And I think he just went, okay, I'm old and I don't have much time left. I got to make a couple bucks and I can't say anything bad. So now I'm just going to fucking blow fucking smoke up their asses. It's so bad. Now I'm not on Twitter, so I don't see what he says now, but all these old things come up and he's always like, oh, the Painters sure are good. They replaced the field. Nobody else will do that. And I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. You are so bad about this.
I will say this, John. One of my favorite things about you is that you hold on to stuff. Now, I mean, hold on to stuff in a good way, right? Like you have your time hop stuff that comes up, and it's like 3-4 years ago, and like I've deleted social media accounts 3, 4, 5 times. I'm out. I can't do this shit. I'm back in. But you're like, hey, motherfuckers, remember this shit from 3 years ago? It's fucking beautiful. I love it.
Oh, buddy, that's the Irish fucking revenge gene. I will never let that go. We'll never forget. We'll never forget. Now, I wasn't personally wrong, but like I felt wronged by whatever I see on there. Fucking what's his name? Now we get cooking later in the show, and it's
I know, right?
What's his name? Rick Lewis. Rick Lewis is he's the color guy for the radio of the Broncos, and he was a classic rock DJ in Denver for like 40 years before that. Like the dude's been on the radio forever.
Yeah.
And he's a total asshole. He's a fucking prick. And he sucks at what he does. And he drag God, what's his name? That does the main broadcast guy.
Dave Logan?
Yeah, Dave Logan. Swear to God, my memory. I got to start writing stuff down. Dave Logan is great. Dave Logan's always been very good at what he does.
Oh, he's a god.
I don't know anything about Dave Logan's politics, and I don't want to know because I enjoy him for what he is, and he's a good broadcaster. So fucking what's his name gets on there and he's really bad and he's kind of like the only thing that saves him, he's been on the radio for 40 years, so he knows how to talk into a microphone. But I found all these like tweets where he was like saying all this hilarious shit about like Obama and like calling him a secret Muslim and how his wife took a trip and it cost $20,000. And I was like, these guys are fucking flying to their country music girlfriend's concert. It's costing fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm like, no way that this guy is fucking bringing that up now. He doesn't give a shit.
Oh God, no.
So things like that always stick in my craw. And then when they pop up after again, I'm like, I gotta fucking say something. So yes, that is me. I try not to carry that with me, that anger, but when it comes up, I get angry. And I never forget something like that. So
no,
yes.
I think the brilliance of how you play things is it never comes off as angry, right? It's just like, hey, I'm just gonna slide this note underneath your door. Here's a time hop from 4 years ago where you said a thing. It's absolutely preposterous, and it just I don't know. It makes me laugh. I enjoy
it. The only good thing Kliss did is that he has that quote where he says, Elway on butt, I'm excited.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I really like. I see and I go, yeah, hell yeah, buddy. That's good. But anyway, I just think like I know why Kliss does it because, like I said, he's old. He's probably trying to hammer a paycheck for as long as he can, and being critical of the Broncos is not how he's going to do it. So he's showing up at Dove Valley and he's getting down on a fucking pillow. And he is sucking off as many fucking of the owners and fucking coaches as he can.
Big Peener energy.
Yep. And so not poor Kliss. Fuck Mike Kliss. Mike Kliss sucks. The only thing I will say, the Elway butt thing, the only other thing that's good about Mike Kliss is allegedly he punched Tracy Ringlesby in the Coors Field press box.
Get out.
Yeah, got in a fight with him and punched him. That's That's what I heard. So if that's true, Mike, you got a point back from that. But really, you've debased yourself and embarrassed yourself and shamed your family with how you've acted in the last couple of years. Anyway,
Hey, how about that Commanders game that's coming up?
So we're going to take next week off because it's the bye week, right? So there's no point in doing it. We've done 12 shows. We've been sticking to it. We're going to finish out the season strong. Hopefully there's going to be a Vegas show, but ideally, Captain, the Vegas show, there won't even be a Bronco game that week. You know why?
No, I think it'll be epic. I mean, I look, I'm a fanboy, right? I mean, the only reason you and I talk is because I was a fanboy of you and Colin back in the day. And the fact that you, Colin, Reno, all the people that I loved back in the day are all going to congregate in Las Vegas for the playoffs and get together. Like, I don't know how much money I'm going to have to spend, but I will buy all the microphones and try and be the Scott Stafford that I can be. That would be so epic just to have an hour sit down like we did the last time we got together to watch some playoffs and just record the conversation, right? Because it's just good conversation.
Well, Scott's probably going to be there, so he'll handle all that.
I feel bad taxing him like that. Like,
well, you just got to bring in the equipment. He'll handle it from there. So,
he should, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm AI.
No, but my point is, if that's wild card weekend, there may not even be a Bronco game that weekend.
But it would be a great insert show.
Absolutely.
It was kind of like what you and Colin were on together the other week. Like some of the comments we got about the show, it was like, God, it was like back in the day, right? And that's what it felt like for me being on the show, just having you guys riff together.
People actually commented?
Oh, God, yeah. I got tons of tweets about that. And I will say this. I was checking the stats. I don't like to look at stats because we're doing this for fun. But I will say, looking at the web stats, we've got people from a lot of different countries watching the show. One in particular, I got to give a shout out to Luke Charles. I don't know if you remember him from back in the day.
I do remember the name, yes.
Yeah, he's an Australian doctor. He went to CU to get his degree. And while he was out there getting his medical license, I think, we met up and we did some Bronco games together. But we have 7 different countries that listen to this show, which is nuts to me. Nuts.
I'm shocked. What the fuck are you people doing?
I don't know. In Argentina, they love us for whatever reason. I don't know, John. I think it's
Bueno, Argentina. Okay, so with that,
we got to do a quick Commanders roll, dude. I know we're 7 minutes over, but
no, we're going to do that. We will take the week off and we'll come back and then we will talk about this game that will happen and then we'll preview the next game and bring it on home into the season. So there's no line yet, but it's Broncos at Commanders. What's your initial thoughts? I mean, is Jaden Daniels going to be back by then? His arm thing looked pretty nasty. I thought he did the same thing I had done where I had to have surgery, but apparently he didn't tear anything, which I'm fucking shocked about. I guess that when you're young and healthy and in good shape, that's what happens.
I was going to say, I've got a cut that I've been healing on my pinky for 3 weeks now.
Yeah. I've been in fucking in misery for the last 5 months because I ran into somebody and put my arm up. Fucking Jaden Daniels fell onto his arm and it bent the wrong way, and he might play fucking in 2 weeks. So who knows? But what do you think?
One, I think it's crazy this game didn't get flexed. I mean, Ty the Fly Guy, who I love from back in the day, and he's still got the Incomplete podcast going on. I mean, he said this weeks ago. How did this game not get flexed because of how well the Broncos are doing and how bad the Commanders are? And you're right. Jane Daniels is not supposed to be starting. It's going to be Marcus Mariota.
2 weeks, though? Well, I again, nasty fucking looking injury, so I wouldn't be surprised. He dislocated his elbow. If he didn't tear anything, didn't need surgery, I don't know. Let's assume he's not going to play, right?
Yeah. So you got Marcus Mariota, and then you got to love the fact that the Redskins, not the Redskins. I do love what Colin said. It's like calling the or what did he say? What was the name that he had for them?
The Americans.
The Americans, right? I thought that was awesome. I don't get the Commanders.
Great. I just had a picture of Trump and RFK Jr. and I was like, Washington Redskins, baby.
I mean, I'm sorry. I grew up in that era. People can say it's insensitive. That's just what I remember them being called for, 30 plus years of my life. But Dan Quinn, deciding to go, hey, defensive coordinator, you suck. I'm going to make the calls. And now they're like the worst defense in the NFL. I feel like this game's going to be like the Dallas Cowboys. I feel like it's going to be a spanking, especially with the Broncos coming off this incredible win with the Chiefs, getting Pat Surtain back. And they give up, I think they're the second worst rushing yards when it comes to defense, which, God damn it, J.K. Dobbins. Like, what the fuck, guy? Like, can you stop getting injured at key moments? But I'm excited for RJ Harvey, for him to get some runs. So maybe this is a good time for him to shine. So anyways, I'm excited. I'm going to say Broncos 37, Commanders 10.
Wow. Okay. That's great. I'll take it. I'm not going to doubt you again.
No, you should, because I just make up numbers on the fly. I don't ever bet my bets.
No, listen, if they play against Mariota and they've got Surtain back, that'll be a bloodbath. They'll fucking kill him. I watched him. Like, he can run. He's very fast still. But he was throwing the ball and it was like these like looping fucking woo, and I was like, oh, that's gonna get picked off. So,
or it's gonna be a penalty for Riley Moss.
It could be, yeah. That would be a penalty for Riley Moss. It'd be an interception for Surtain. I had a guy I know. He pointed out that the Broncos have like the least amount of takeaways in any defense. And
that's crazy. We haven't had that many picks.
Yeah, I know. And I thought, I remember a lot of almost interceptions and like almost fumbled recoveries. And I'm sure that stat is probably charted somewhere too. Doesn't matter, right? Because it didn't happen. But that stuff will come. I think it'll come, and it might come as early as 2 weeks from now when Mariota's throwing up lollipops to these guys. So, but
Alex Singleton. That's who it was.
Alex Singleton. Yeah.
God, nut boy.
God
bless nut boy.
Alex Singlenut now.
Yes. No. He just had the cancer removed. They didn't remove the nut.
I think they got to remove the nut.
Do they got to remove the nut? This goes back to you and Colin talking to me about getting.
Oh yeah, you need to go to a doctor. You need to go to a doctor and talk to him about this stuff because
spit roasted. That's what you guys said. I was like, no.
Yeah. I think they got to take off both because you don't know if it's spread. They have no way of knowing.
Is that one line connecting the two?
Yeah, it's just you cut on the dotted line, baby. So, but I think they can put in like a fake nut, and they do. Yeah, they do. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like fake boobs, but fake nuts for boys.
Absolutely, because if you and I don't know for sure if they have to take both. I mean, maybe if they just know it's in one, but I don't know if since it's an interconnected system, they might just go, hey, we got to take all of it. Kind of like with breasts, they just go, hey, take them both, then we don't have to worry about it. You don't have to fuck with it, And so just like boobs, they can put a fake nut there. And so just so you got it, just so you're like sitting at home, you got something to grab onto.
Well, damn it, if I now I'm going to go to the doctor just because I'm going to ask him to go, hey, I've heard this nut thing. Can I get bigger ones?
Well, there probably is nut augmentation. I guarantee you. So that's good. Let's circle back after this game, and we will check back and see how that one turned out. Hopefully they keep the good times rolling. I want them to get that fucking bye week. I think that's what they need. I want them to roll into it, and let some other teams do their dirty work for them, and keep the good times afloat. Although bye weeks are a little bit of a trap because you get if you want to keep rolling, you might want to play that week, So, but
you got to keep it fresh.
Yeah, but we'll see how it goes. So, so we'll be back in 2 weeks, and we will be back with you when the Broncos resume. So
9-2.
Yeah, we'll see. Whiskey flow steady. Yeah, Never Swim Club's coming up. So, everybody, thanks for tuning in. To me and the captain, this has been the Broncos Blues. Up until next time, adios.